Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Frank Decas dropping knowledge once again. Took some time today to record this video. We'll put it out today. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone that subscribed to my channel, which has been crazy. I've got, a little over 100 people that have subscribed to me. That's, encouraging. When I started with my first video of the recent run of videos where I explain why I back up exposed tube, and we're going to continue exposing, we're going to continue being on that neck. I mentioned that I really have a lot of things on my plate. Content creation hasn't really been up front, on the forefront for me. It's always been on the back burner. But just seeing how you guys are responding to the videos I put out, watching the views skyrocket, having over 100 subscribers now, which when I first started this, I think I only had like 30, 37 people. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. This motivates me to continue to put out content. And it's always been really about connecting with people, like-minded individuals. And like I said in the first, if you go to my community tab, you're going to see the first post that I placed. It's all about connecting, finding like-minded people. If there's content that I enjoy, I'm going to talk about it. I don't want it to just be based on one single person or individual, but I had to start somewhere. And if you guys watched that first video of this run of videos that I started, where it's titled "Why I Ride with Exposed Tube," I mentioned a content creator, and her name is Chilling with Moni. If you like hip hop, real journalism on hip hop, unabashed criticism of things that are happening in that world, and I suggest you to follow Moni. Subscribe, you give her a like, and she's really the only content creator that I've subscribed to. I've been subscribed to her for over a year, and I didn't first agree with her content. Just to be honest, I got to be honest with you. One of the first videos that she put out there, she was talking about, um, you know, a situation with Kendrick Lamar, and that's really what got it started. Was the whole Kendrick Drake beef got me. I'm a big hip hop fan. I've been consuming hip hop since I was a child. That beef was a big deal to me because it showed, the battle between true hip hop and marketed hip hop, and I'm all for the real. Right. So shout out to you, Moni, for putting me on to always showing receipts, always being able to go and backtrack and make sure that what we're saying and what's being said and what's being put out there are facts. That's what I'm about. I'm about facts. I'm not about hoopla and just, who's the craziest, who's the hardest, who's the downest. Man, I've been down that road, and I was lucky and fortunate enough to be allowed to have a second chance, and I'm gonna do what I can do with my second chance. So if I can work, spend time with my family, I watch live sometimes with my kids, or they're sharing content with me of things that they're watching. You know, I have a good family. And that's why this shirt they gave it to me last Father's Day. I'm not gonna buy me. I remember that one video, that one episode in The Office where I forgot the main character's name. I'm not very good with names. I remember a face, but I may not remember a name. It bought himself a mug that said the best, the best boss in the world. And he said, "Yeah, I bought this, right?" Like, he shows it off and then he says, "Yeah, I bought this." Well, no, I didn't buy this. I didn't buy this. My kids bought it for me. I've got two great kids. My son, he's 24. He'll be 24 soon. Well, he's 24 already. He'll be 25 in October. My daughter turns 19 soon, so they're big. They're older. But we still have a very close knit relationship, and I think that if there's anything I want to put out there, it's about relationships. It's about burning bridges. It's about how do you survive in a world that's so fragmented, that anything can divide us, anything can fragment our community, fragment our family. How do you stay together? How do you know, bring in people that will benefit from you, that you will benefit from them, that create a support team? Like, how do you do that? How do you create a support team with individuals that sometimes you don't even know? Like, the community that we're creating online with Exposed Tube and all of these things. We don't just talk about this certain individual. We have conversations, enlightening conversations about religion and politics, and we don't always agree. But that's the whole point. Is the whole point in my mind of social media is to be able to connect with people that even that are across the globe over things that you like or don't like. And maybe what you do like is something that someone else dislikes. And that right there is a connection because you're talking about a specific subject, but you're looking at it from different ways. But in the end, the common denominator, what breaks false narratives, what erases any question of doubt are facts. This is a world we're living in, a world where facts are questioned, where sometimes the narrative is stronger than the truth, and I'm not for that. I'm a truth seeker, and the first truth that I had to seek was my own truth. Like, who am I? Who am I in this space? Well, I'm a dad. First and foremost, I'm a dad. I'm a dad that works, so I'm also an employee. I'm a worker. I'm also a citizen. I also interact with my neighbors. So I'm all of these things. I give thanks and glory to God every day that both my parents are alive. So I'm also a son. I'm the youngest of four. I've got three older sisters. I'm a brother. So, I'm also in a range where I can understand what it is to be a brother. I can understand what it is to be a younger brother. I can understand what it is to be a son. I can understand what it is to live in the States, what it is to live in El Salvador, what it is to travel to Mexico, what it is to go through different states, what it is to be free and not free. We're not limited. And the only people that want to limit you and your knowledge are people that don't have control over their own narrative. Narratives are what drive the constant media cycle, whether true or false. Someone can post a video where someone can say on a live that the sky is green, and there will be people that will come out and defend that the sky is green just just to protect and just to belong and just to stir up controversy, and that's okay. You know, social media is not that much different than the real world. How many of us had coworkers that lie? You know that they're lying, but you still got to work with them. You still got to coincide with them. You still have to go to the water cooler with them. You still have to probably share the microwave with them. But once you leave work, you don't have to deal with that person anymore. Same thing with social media. If you don't like my content, if you think that, I'm this and I'm that, hey, it's all good. You can, you know, choose to watch someone else, skip my video when it comes up. But if you're going to engage with me, you might as well like and subscribe. That's all I'm saying. Just like it and subscribe it. I mean, obviously, somehow you made it here. Somehow the algorithm brought you here. Hey, I appreciate your visit. As long as you wipe your feet before you come in the house, it's all good. If you decide to come in with muddy boots, hey, I'll just clean up afterwards. And if you come in again and again with your muddy boots, hey, thank you for your visit. That's all I can say. And I'm not here to be agent of chaos. Like I've seen certain content creators that switch it up. Halfway in the game, they switch it up to where now they become agents of chaos and just start going crazy. Hey man, more power to them. If that was their whole get down from the beginning, I'm not gonna knock it. Hey, get yours, brother, get yours. I'm just not gonna participate in that the way you are, and I'm not gonna get sucked into that because that's not me. That's not my cup of tea. It's all about the receipts. If you saw my last video, you will understand that, like I said, I may forget your name, but I won't forget a face and I won't forget what you said. I won't forget what I learned. If it's stored in my data bank, it's going to be there. I don't know why I don't have that for names and phone numbers. Like I'll forget phone numbers. Like you can give me your phone number right now, and I'll ask for it again in 2 minutes, just because I don't know. My mind doesn't process certain facts that way. But I have a very, very, very good memory, and like I put in my last video, if you guys check it about keeping facts straight, you're gonna see that I put a quote by Abraham Lincoln where he says, "No man has a good enough memory to be a successful liar." So if you already come into the space thinking that what you said in the past isn't going to come back to bite you in the ass, well, you're wrong. And it's not, it doesn't even take that long. It doesn't take very long to type in the search box what you're looking for. And I don't like AI. Unfortunately, AI is integrated into all our apps. They just want our data. They just want to keep us under control, but that's a whole different conversation. It also makes it AI also makes it easier. I mean, it does make certain things easier. And sometimes finding information is easy because AI will automatically bring up what I'm looking for. So I will always be about receipts. If you ask me about something that I've said or I did in the past or a video that I put out, I will probably tell you exactly what I said on that video because I don't need to lie. I don't need to lie to kick it. That was one of the things that we used to say when we were younger. I don't know if it's still said. I've been out of rotation for many years, but you don't got to lie to kick it. You don't. Honesty is the best policy. I know that all of these are little cliche sayings, but it's the truth. Honesty is really the best policy. And if you can't be honest about something, just keep your mouth shut. Simple as that. If what you are going to say is going to incriminate you, is going to incriminate someone else, or it's going to make you look dumb because it contradicts your whole existence, well, then just keep your mouth shut. That's all you got to do. No, don't get baited into arguing and having someone go out there and truly expose you. No, that because that's what's going to end up happening. No, there are people that are really invested in what's going on online because depending on where they're at, and this is not a criticism, this is just a reality. There are people that prefer to stay inside. I'm one of those people. I prefer to stay inside. I prefer to work from home. If my family and I go out, I enjoy that time, but that's family time outside of the house. But it's still within the confines of my group of people that I feel comfortable with. Now, if a coworker calls me or a friend that I know calls me and says, "Hey, Frank, can you come down?" Blah blah blah. I might have to. I might not. Just that's why I don't get invited much. It's not because I don't. I'm not friendly with people. It's just because they know that I don't really do that unless it's something special or we're gonna celebrate something. Then I'm out there and popping bottles, and not even that many because I don't really like to drink. Now, if anything, I'm cool with wine, red wine. That's my go-to. I enjoy drinking red wine. I could probably down 3 bottles to the neck in an evening and just chat and chill and have a good time because that's really all we have. All we have is what we can do in the moment. All we have is today. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Whatever happened in the past, there's no way to go back in time and fix any of it. We are who we are, and facts are what keep us aligned. Respect is what keeps us within bounds. And just respect. I mean, if you don't like something, that's on you, but you don't got to come out there and degrade someone and try to belittle someone and call them out their name. And that's why, in this last video that I did, it really bothers me to hear so many racist dog whistles from a guy that says he's Christian and he's all about unity. Come on. You can't tell me you're Christian, you're a righteous Christian, and you're out there using racist dog whistles. You can't tell me that you're Christian and you're out there trying to belittle people because they're bringing out your truths. They're bringing out your dirty laundry because it's starting to stink. And that's like I said, I enjoy chilling with Moni because she brings receipts, and you're gonna see a lot of people in the entertainment business that do a lot of what we see going on online right now. It's people that need to go to therapy. Drugs are their therapy. Clout is their therapy. They think they're getting a small buzz off of the chaos they create, and that's going to be a constant dragon that they're chasing. I remember, dealing with older dudes that were strung up on dope. And one of the common phrases that you hear is chasing the dragon. They're always chasing the dragon because that first time that they did a hit, it was Euphoria, one of my favorite diss tracks. It was Euphoria for them. So now they have to constantly keep doing it to get that emotion, get that feeling again that it may never come back. So they're constantly chasing the dragon. And that's what I see going on with some of these constant creators, constant creators, because they're constantly creating content. I messed up, right? I'm trying to clean it up. With these content creators, they're constantly trying to chase the dragon. They're constantly trying to put things out there to make your views pop. And it's okay. Hey, listen, I respect your hustle. Do what you got to do. Whatever puts money in your pocket, hey, that's what you got to do. But don't come on here thinking that you're going to get away bullshitting. And don't come out here thinking you're going to get away being racist. Don't come out here thinking you're going to get away being a predator to children, because that's where I put my foot down. Now, my whole thing is not an obsession with a man. It's about, what are we watching, man? I got kids, like I said, I got kids, and all throughout their childhood, I had to protect them from what they could see, from what was being filtered. And it wasn't that I was, blocking it. It was me explaining to them, and I've always been that way. I've always explained to my kids what's good or bad, because I know that if they don't see it at home, they're going to see it outside, or someone's going to show it to them, or someone's going to view it with them. And one of the things that I've always told my kids, listen, we're going to talk about everything up front. We're going to put everything on the table, but you're going to get, the truth from me, and then it's going to be up to you. As parents, at some point, we have to trust that the upbringing we're giving our children is enough for them, for them to, live their life, and for it to carry them when we're no longer here. Now that is what I'm all about. So when I see people disparaging others because of their race, because of how they look, because of, they got called out. So because you got called out, now you got to lash out. Lash out, but stop being racist. Lash out, but lash out with truth, lash out with receipts. So be about it. Like, show us, demonstrate. Okay, you don't want people talking about your status. Okay, well then what is your status? Well, what happened? No, you're a public figure. Or you got rappers, you've got people in politics, you've got people in your own family that try to gaslight you. Man, I've cut people out of my family quicker than I cut out a content creator, because they're so close to me that I'm able to deal with that. Like, I have no problem confronting people over their bullshit, especially family, especially people that are akin to me, especially people that are out there saying that they represent La Raza. I'm part of La Raza and you don't represent me. I'd rather, you know, chop it up with 16 to life. Shout out to you, 16 to life. I think that you're a righteous dude that's out there putting content that unfortunately crossed path with a couple of walking wrecks. You can go back and see I made a video about checking yourself before you wreck yourself. These dudes don't check. There is no check. They don't pump brakes. Their brakes are gone. So now they're spiraling fast, going downhill in a bucket with no brakes. They're eventually going to crash, and it's going to be in a flame of glory. Maybe for them, it's just going to be, more content for us to watch, I guess. So, what is my channel about, or it's about speaking facts. It's about receipts. It's about making sure that the weirdos are put in their place. Now, I may do content on hip hop because I enjoy it. And if I put out videos out there, I hope you guys enjoy them and click it. It might not be your cup of tea. Maybe you guys are following me because you think that, I'm going to be one of these guys that's coming out and acting hardcore. But no, I don't. Trust me, I know I'm not the hardest guy in life. I'm not the smartest. I know that. If there's something that I learned from my parents, now that I'm a mejor papá del mundo, best dad in the world, love my kids. One of the things that my mom used to tell me when I was already acting up out on the streets and just doing stupid, stupid, stupid shit, is she said, "En la calle, on the street, vas a encontrar a tu tata. You're gonna find your dad. On the street, you're gonna find your dad." And for some of these content creators, if I have to be your dad, I'm gonna be your dad. I'm gonna put belt to ass, and it don't stop. You guys can put a million views. You can put a million dislikes on my video, and that's okay. I'm not gonna crash out on you. I'm not gonna come at you. I'm just gonna put out facts, because that's all it is. That's all that's needed. Sometimes all you gotta do is tell the truth about someone, and they'll crash out. Just I remember one time. My mom, I know my mom doesn't watch my videos. I haven't even told her that I'm making videos. And she got mad at me at that Univision interview that I did because, like I explained to you, my mom is very, very guarded. My parents are that way. But I remember one time we were at church and I was a little kid and my mom had just gotten glasses, right? And she didn't really want people to see her with glasses. And one of my aunts was there, and she's like, "Here, let me give you a phone number." And she's like, and my mom was like, looking at it, and she couldn't really see it. And I made a sign to my mom, like, "Mom," and I'm like, "Mom, the glasses." And she's like, and hi, son. And sometimes people don't like to be reminded that they have something there. A little lie, something covert. I know I don't like it when people put my, stuff out on Front Street, but if it's the truth, it's the truth. What are you gonna do? So that needs to force a change in you to where, hey man, if my lies ain't flying, I gotta find a way to put out content that sticks to the facts because someone's gonna come along and they're gonna fact check you. You're gonna look like an idiot, so then you're gonna have to crash out and start calling people out their name and using racist dog whistles like we saw in this last video. And I'm not about that, man. I'm not about that. If I lie about something, you hit me up and I go and I check it and it's true, I'll tell you, hey, you know what? I messed up. I lied about this. You're absolutely right. Because one of the things about being el mejor papá del mundo is being able to give my kids a role model that they can look up to, and I want that primary role model to be me. No, I don't want them looking online, finding creeps and thinking that's the way to go. And I think about all of the other children that are alone, they're in their homes, parents are working, their only connection to the outside world are these videos, and you got grown 50-year-old men just lying, being predators, grooming them, gaslighting them, and I'm not about that. And I will always put my foot down and go at you. So if you end up seeing a video of me going at someone for lies, I'm always going to bring the receipts as to why. Okay, but other than that, just have fun. And if you're already here, hit that like, hit the subscribe. If you're gonna put a bad comment under on this video, I'm gonna put a heart next to yours and say hit like and hit subscribe. So I just wanted to take the time. Once again, thank you, thank you, thank you for all of you that are watching my videos. I'm going to continue to put out content, at least a video a day. Yesterday I went wild and put two just because I had to fact check, right? I have to fact check because the power and what motivated me to get onto YouTube again is the fact that we're stepping on all predators next. 2026 is going to be the reckoning year for all of you predators out there, all of you gaslighters, all of you liars. It's on. It's on. It's on and cracking. Have a great Sunday. God bless you all. Peace.